with JavaScript. Okay. So first thing, so the first point everyone needs to understand is, so far we have been learning Selenium, right? So why is there a sudden shift to Protractor? Why do we need Protractor? Does anyone have any idea?
From
Anyone?
whatever Divya's video we saw, Protractor helps
Mm-hmm.
to automate the Angular-based web applications
Yes, exactly. So,
because it has more number of locators. It's
mhm,
easier to automate.
yeah, yeah. So basically, do you know what is a single page application?
I think, I mean, in Divya's video, I tried to understand a little bit. Like she explained, when we, launch google.com, and if like for search, then we get the page, right? And if we want to search something else,
Mm-hmm.
instead of the entire content of the HTML, like instead of searching the entire, not the entire, like the multi-page, it
Mm-hmm.
display in the same page.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah,
Something.
that's right.
Okay.
So basically, single page applications are like modern applications, okay, where the whole page need not be reloaded every time. Okay, only the part of the
Mm,
page would be reloaded.
okay.
Okay. What I mean by that is, um, when you actually, I hope everyone has experience on using Gmail application, right?
Yeah.
So in Gmail, if you have seen on the left, you have inbox, sent items, then archive, all items, then many labels are there on the left, right? Draft and all that, correct?
Mm-hmm. Right.
On the right side, you can see that the layout, the look and feel, everything looks the same. Just that when you click on the inbox, all the inbox items appear. When you click on the sent item, all the sent item appears, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So here, actually, in if you go back in maybe at least maybe around uh, 8 to 10 years back, when we were in the early stages of web development, okay, whenever you click any link, the whole page used to reload. It was not like just a part of the page. The whole page, where, for example, if you are on the inbox and if you had to click the sent item, the whole page you would have been reloaded and it would have shown you the sent item. Okay, that kind of is actually a bummer because you have to load everything from the beginning. If you remember my HTML CSS classes, I have told you that whenever the whole page loads, you get the HTML, JavaScript, and a lot of assets along with it, like images and everything gets loaded, and it takes a lot of time, right?
Right.
Yeah. In this case, what happens is all the assets, the initial HTML and everything would be the same. Just the part of the page which needs to be modified, just that content alone will get refreshed. The remaining everything will still be the same. So it is like, um I'm not sure if I covered what is Ajax, asynchronous JavaScript, right? So basically, asynchronous means uh, when two things can run parallelly, okay, and one is not dependent on the other. They actually can be executed together. So, for example, if you click on the compose email in your Gmail, right, it brings up a pop-up, correct?
Yeah.
And when you're trying to compose some email, that does not block anything from behind the scene. For example, if you get a new inbox email that keeps coming, and if you have multiple compose messages, you can still keep sending messages. The other message is not disturbed, correct? Everything works independently. Am I
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So these things are working asynchronously. If it was synchronous, it would have been like while sending emails, you cannot receive emails. While receiving emails, you cannot send emails. Everything will be a single thread. Are you getting the point? What is synchronous? What is asynchronous?
Yes.
Yeah. So on the same lines, the modern frameworks, okay, actually do a lot of behind the scene work, which actually helps the developers to develop things faster, and the application would be stable and much more feature rich. Okay, so for example, in old days, imagine the Gmail application that used to be very slow. Okay, like if you have to, as I said, if you have to go from inbox to sent items or sent items back to inbox, you had to reload the whole page. Okay, that was not efficient, that was very slow, and the framework was not good enough to for the developers to develop applications quickly. Now, the modern frameworks, there are a couple of major ones like Angular and React. Okay, React is from Facebook and Angular is from Google. Okay, these are the top two as of now frameworks which actually the web development community is following very much. Okay, and these two frameworks provide the basic building blocks for creating a single page application easily and reliably with a lot of features. Okay, so that the development can happen very fast. So most of the new applications are actually developed on either of these two frameworks. Okay. Now, what is that you need to understand from this? What you need to understand is when you have lot of asynchronous things happening in your application, right? That time you end up doing a lot of thread.sleep and managing many things inside your testing application using when you are using Selenium. It's not that you cannot do testing of Angular applications using Selenium. You can do it, but it will be more difficult. You have to verify, like you have to keep proper sleep times, and you have to make sure you are handling many extra bit of code. Are you guys able to understand me?
Yes, Vinod.
Yeah. So I'll just try. Give me a minute. So Ipsita, can you see my Visual Studio Code?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. So initially we started with Selenium, okay, and we built on this on Java, correct?
Uh-huh.
Actually, Selenium can be written in multiple languages. It can be done in Python. It can be done in .NET also. All right, but we used Java because that is the most widely used. Okay, but that doesn't mean Selenium will run on only Java. It can run on other languages as well. Okay, then now we are starting to learn Protractor. Okay, this is built on top of Selenium. So you'll find a lot of similarities between Selenium and Protractor. So almost everything what is possible in Selenium, you have it in Protractor, plus you have some additional features. Are you getting the point?
Yes.
Yeah, and this is preferred for. Give me a minute, I'll just. This is preferred for Angular and React applications that. Okay, give me a minute. That develop no Angular and React application that does a lot of async calls. Okay. All right, everyone. Clear
Uh,
so far?
yes, Vinod.
Yeah. So you understood what is asynchronous and why we need protractor here, right? And also
Yeah.
remember, this can be done using, I mean, the testing of Angular can also be done with Selenium, but it would be difficult as you need to handle lot of with sleep and other logics. Are you getting the point?
Yes.
All right. So Protractor is actually um, built or would be developed using JavaScript. Okay, and so this is Selenium. So this is, I mean, this is built on top of Selenium, and we use JavaScript for this. Okay, we don't use Java for Protractor. We use JavaScript. So for that reason, we'll have to understand some basic concepts of JavaScript. Okay, so Divya's initial video was more on JavaScript, right? Like
Yeah.
she gave you a brief overview.
Yeah.
How many of you found it easy to understand?
It was very detailed, Vinod. It was easy to understand.
It was easy to understand, is it?
Yeah.
How many? Yeah. How many of you found it difficult? Can you please raise your hand?
You know, the coding script was easy actually, but like installing Node.js, npm, these things we need
Mhm.
to, I mean, go ahead once again. We should learn
Mhm.
more about it, like installing Node.js, npm, the way she did in the editors and all these things.
Okay. All right. Okay. Um, okay. JavaScript actually is a kind of a subset of Java. Okay. So JavaScript would be very much similar to what Java is. Okay. So first remember that JavaScript would be in syntax wise, it is of course different from Java, but most of the concepts what you have in Java, I mean, I would say like um, uh, JavaScript is a lightweight version of Java. We can say that. Okay, so but why did we have to switch to JavaScript when we had Java? Java has to be compiled and packaged in order to be run in most of the platforms, right? It has to be packaged. You have to build it, package it as a jar file, and or any other format, and then use it in your platforms. Correct? That is case for Java, but JavaScript can be run as it is in most of the platforms. Okay. It's
Okay.
a scripting language and it is pretty lightweight. And as it is lightweight, it can be directly run on most of the platforms like web and all that. Okay, in web, I'll show you how easy it is to just write a script and to execute it. You don't need a compiler or any extra steps to package it or anything. Okay,
Yes.
all right. So let's see some examples. So to start off, we'll open a browser. Okay, we'll go to the developer console here. Here, let's do a console. So we can write console.log. Okay, and I'll just write hello world. So this will actually print something to the console. So basically console.log in JavaScript is very much similar to sysout. In Java, we used to have a system.out.println, right? On the same lines, console.log will behave for JavaScript. Is that clear?
Vinod, so you were this console, you were doing it on the web page?
Yeah, as of now, I'm actually I inspected some element and opened up this developer console.
Okay.
Okay, which you're familiar with. And in developer console, there is a tab for console.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
So you
there
okay.
you can write your JavaScript code and directly execute it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just showing you this because Protractor, we of course will not be writing it in this console. I just showed you here because you need to understand that JavaScript is very lightweight and it can be directly run on web pages like this.
Okay.
Okay, so this is one easy way of testing your JavaScript code. Okay, is that clear?
Yes.
But console doesn't mean just this console. It can be any console. So any console, I mean whichever platform you are running it in that particular platform, and that particular console it will be running. So I'll show you in Visual Studio Code. We can run it in terminal or anywhere. That's what I mean. Okay. So now I showed you console.log, which is just printing the statement, right? The same thing. If I go to my Visual Studio Code here, and if I just, okay, these are all my comments here. So I'll just write my code here, save this file. Okay. And I'll just give me a minute. I'll just open the file. Okay. Give me 1 minute more. Okay. Do you see my terminal now, Ipsita?
Yes, Vinod, I can
So
see.
this terminal is nothing but just like a command prompt in Windows. Uh, I have actually written a line of code console.log in a simple file demo.js. You can actually write this in a notepad itself. No need to have a editor. But I'm just using Visual Studio Editor because it gives more features like color coding, auto complete, and all such features for JavaScript. Okay.
Okay.
So this is one of the
Vinod,
friendly editor.
quick
Yeah.
question on this one. So after watching Divya's video, I was trying to download this one, but for it's asking for user or the system. I didn't know which one to choose.
User or the system. You can choose a system. So basically, it is like, do you want to install it only for yourself or for everyone on the system?
Okay, I see.
Yeah. So you can choose system and proceed. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Now we have saved this code in demo.js. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll open my terminal. Okay. Here, I'll just execute my code. I'll just drag this to here. That is to just execute it. Permission denied. Okay, there is some permission issue here, but if not, it will just work fine. Okay, in your case, probably if you are running it on Windows, it should work fine. Let me try with a sudo.
Okay.
Command not found. Why is it giving this? Okay, I was supposed to do a node here. Very sorry about that. So if you just do a node, I'll tell you what is node and all that, but I'm just running it here. See, it is printing the hello world. So any platform it is running, it will choose that particular platform's console and print it. For example, if you are running it on a server, server will have a console, it will print there. If you're running it from Eclipse, Eclipse will have a console, it will print there. If you're running it on the browser, browser has a console and it will print there. So basically console.log is actually going to print on the console just as a UI. Okay, and all you need to know about JavaScript as of now is it is a lightweight version of Java, which need not be compiled and directly can be run. And for that reason, it is actually very widely used in web development. Okay, and it is also because of its acceptance, it is now started. Initially, JavaScript was only used for front end web development. So, do you know what is front end, Ipsita?
Yes.
Yeah. So in front end, for the client side, we used to have JavaScript for interaction of the user. Okay, like on button click or any front end actions like user doing some drag and drops or whatever they are doing on the front end. We used to have JavaScript for controlling that. Okay, now because people have started accepting it and the JavaScript has evolved a lot. Now even for the backend, JavaScript can be used. Okay, so actually, how does it run on the backend? So for it to run on the backend, it needs something called as Node. Okay, Node is actually a tool which helps to create a. Usually, Node is actually used to create a server using JavaScript. Okay, so it's actually usually called as Node.js. Okay, Node.js is actually a tool or a library which will actually help you to create a server from JavaScript. All right, server using JavaScript code language. Is that clear? So what you know what is a server, right? Server is nothing but whatever request is going from the front end, the response will come from the back end, right? So for example, if you log in into Facebook, it will say whether your user ID password is correct, and it will show all your posts. It will help you create new posts. It will help you change your profile picture, right? All these things you are doing from front end, and there is some server sitting in the back end which is controlling all this, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So these servers can also be developed using JavaScript. And how do we do that? Using Node. Okay. But that is actually a developer's work. You need not worry about it. Okay. Developers will actually create those for you. So whatever web applications you are seeing, for example, you are seeing a TechHack website, right?
Yeah.
That was developed by me using Angular. Okay, in Angular, all the front end is actually done with this. For backend, I use a different language, but it can also be done.
I didn't catch that. You said, what did you say? Attica?
No, Angular, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
TechHack, our portal is there, right? TechHack portal is there, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So that portal where you're watching the videos, right? Sorry.
It is developed using Angular, huh?
Yeah, that is developed using Angular. Okay. So
Vinod, I had one question. Can I ask now or later?
Yeah, sure.
Divya mentioned something about test runner, when she was talking about the server-side scripting. Was not familiar. What was the,
What did she mention?
something about test runner? Is that
Test runner, is that?
I don't know. Something she gave a reference to that, so I didn't quite get that. So
Yeah, she did mention on a video about a test runner, Groovy and
Okay, it
test
could
runner.
I am not very familiar with that. Maybe we can check with Divya. Maybe once when we start working on Protractor, maybe we can come across that. Let's work on it later. Today we'll look into JavaScript.
Okay.
Okay. So coming to JavaScript, so JavaScript was initially planned and designed only for front end, but later on the language took so much of acceptance that a lot of people started using it, and then they started moving it to server side as well. So that was done using the framework or library called Node. Okay, so to run it, uh, another easy way, one easy way was to through the browser. The next easy way is to run it through Node on a console. Okay, just like how I showed you here. Okay, and I'll tell you what is Node again. But before that, another easy way, Visual Studio Code also has a what is that? Terminal within this, or a command prompt. Okay, if you just go to File, or where is that? View and integrated terminal. Okay, if you bring up this, okay, let me clear. Okay, a terminal would pop up like this inside Visual Studio Code itself. Okay, and the advantage you get here is that you can develop and see the output here itself, just like how we used to do it in our Eclipse, right? The
Yes.
output also we could see there, we can develop, right? On the same lines here also we can develop it and see the console output here itself. But this is nothing but just like a command prompt. So here, if I say node and followed by demo.js, you will get the hello world. Do you see that?
Yeah.
It's much neater now. All right.
Yes.
Okay. Now to install Node, let's go here. Just go search install Node. Okay, and you'll be taken to nodejs.org website. Okay, I'll just close this. Give me a minute.
Vinod, in the video, like she mentioned NP, and after installing it, it will install. Is that same you are showing us now?
In this I'm showing just the node.
Okay.
Okay, I'll I'll
Okay.
I'll tell you what is npm later. Okay,
Okay.
but
Okay.
this is for the node. So if you're running for Windows, click on this. Mac or Linux, anything, you can just install your respective ones. Okay. So once you install that, your JavaScript is capable of running on top of Node. All right. All you have to do is it's just an installer. Just next, 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 and your node would be ready. And to confirm if your node is working fine, all you have to do is just go back to your terminal. It could be a terminal outside, or it could be a terminal within Visual Studio Code. You have to do a node minus v, which will give you the version of node you have. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clear, everyone? All right. So any doubts so far?
No, Vinod.
Okay.
Good.
So in Eclipse, you saw that we used to have uh, jar files, which used to help us uh, uh, with what? With using other people's code, right? Basically,
Yeah.
using jar,
Built in
we could yeah, you can use other libraries, other packages, everything. You could import it into your thing, and you could start using that. But in JavaScript, actually, I told you you need no, you there is no nothing like a compiler or anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you need to have everything. That in turn means that you need to write all the code you need. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So in this case, instead of actually writing all the code, we copy all the code. Okay. So basically, what happens is we have something called as npm. Npm is nothing but Node Package Manager. Okay, what
Mm.
that does is Actually, it is just like if you're familiar with Maven, if you give the correct version number and everything of your dependencies, right? It will download the particular jar file into your Eclipse project. You know that, right?
Yes, it will
Yeah.
download.
Yeah. On the same lines, Node Package
Actually,
Manager.
no.
What?
What will Maven do actually?
Yeah, Vinod, even I
Okay.
Yeah,
didn't
I'm not
get
familiar
that.
with Maven, Vinod either.
I think Maven would be covered someday. If just note it down somewhere. If it is not covered, you can let us know in the end of the work. I mean classrooms. That is maybe after 3 weeks we'll cover that as well. Okay, just a reminder. Okay, so Maven in brief is nothing but a something like a dependency manager. Now, for our project to run on Selenium, we were actually downloading the Selenium jar file and running it. Correct? We downloaded 3.1.13 or something Selenium standalone jar file, and we downloaded, attached it to our project, and we started running it. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Likewise, we did
So
for other files for reading XMLs. We did POM, TestNG,
Yeah.
separate jars we downloaded. But
yeah.
Maven
So
will help, like it will download
may,
automatically.
one minute. Maven is actually like nothing but kind of a how would I put it? In Maven we have a file called pom.xml, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
What that does is it actually is nothing but a definition file where you define where is your jar files, what version of it has to be there. Maven actually maintains a repository online. Okay, and it will have all the versions of all the code. For example, Selenium, it will have all the versions stored on the cloud. So the idea here is that when you share your code with someone, that is, for example, through Git or something, we learned Git, right? So through Git, if I share a code with someone, maybe with you, um, ideally, if it works for me, doesn't guarantee that it will work for you, because I may have added it into my build path, but you may have not added it. Correct?
Yes.
So the concept of Maven is that I will create a definition file, okay, and I will share that file with you. It will be like a normal text file, XML file, okay, which will have all the definitions. So if you take that definition file into your system, and if you have Maven configured correctly, that when you run the project, Maven will take care of downloading the jar files and mapping it correctly. So it could be that I am using version 3.1.3. You may be working on 2.5.3, correct? So if I just give you the code, it may work on my machine, it may not work on your machine. We'll start to see a lot of errors, correct? But if we have a definition file, and if we are sharing the definition file itself, even if you are on 2.5.3, Maven will take care of upgrading it to 3.1.3. Are you getting the point? What is Maven?
Yes,
Yes,
Vinod.
Yeah. So Maven is nothing but a definition file of with all the dependencies. On the same lines, yeah, sorry.
We have to write the definition file in Maven, and Maven will download everything for us. That's according to
Yeah,
your
that's right.
configuration.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So when we share the definition file among us, everyone will be running on the same version. Okay. It also helps you because you no need to worry about where to search the Google jar file, where to get it from Google or somewhere, which link, which yeah. If you remember standalone version of Selenium, we had it in a couple of links, and initially we got it from the wrong link, and then we found the right one. Do you remember that?
Yes, Vinod.
Basically,
Yes.
yeah, it was difficult to find the exact jar file. But if you have dependency definitions using Maven, the POM file, it will do all the hard work for you. Okay, so it is just to make your day-to-day job easier. All right. So on the same lines, for JavaScript, you don't have any packaging, but you still need to use others' code, right? They would have developed something, you need to download it and run it, correct? So actually, NPM is very similar to Maven. It is a node package manager for JavaScript. So why is it called the Node Package Manager? Because in Node, if you write, say, suppose some 10 script files, JavaScript files, and you package it and you upload it to Node and give it a name, maybe Vinod ABC. Okay, you can in your PC, if you say npm install Vinod ABC, it will download that and it will install it for you. Basically, what will happen is there is nothing like a compile packaging happening here, but all the 10 JavaScript files which I have written would be immediately available for you on your PC. It will go into the right location and it will get installed. You will understand that when we do some Protractor code. Okay, I'll show you some samples. But basically, what is happening is all the file which I'm writing will be exactly copied into your PC. It is not converted into a jar and then you're importing, exporting, nothing like that. The whole JavaScript will be exactly copied to every PC. Are you getting the difference between Java and JavaScript?
Yes.
Yeah. So that is npm. Okay. Installing npm is also
We will
straightforward.
only share the compiled
Usually share. Usually it's not only. It's usually we don't share the code. Instead we share the jar file. Correct.
Okay, okay. But in JavaScript, npm,
Yeah,
it
there
will
is nothing like a jar file packaging or anything. You have to share the whole code because
okay.
there is no step of compiling and all. Correct. You can directly run it.
Okay.
For that reason, it has to be done that way. Okay. So far, all good.
Yes, Vinod.
Yes, Vinod.
Okay, give me a minute. Okay. Ipsita, please confirm if you can see my Visual Studio Code.
Yes, I can.
Okay, give me a minute. Give me just 1 minute. Yeah. So now that you have understood what is Node, what is npm, what is where does it fit into Protractor and AngularJS, and what is a single page application, right? You have learned all these things. Now let's see some basic coding for JavaScript, shall we?
Sure.
Yeah. So I just have some samples. I'll run them one by one, just like what Divya did. But I'll just give it a quick walkthrough. Okay.
Okay.
So give me a minute. How do I format it? Okay. I'm just copy pasting the code here. So basically what I did was in JavaScript, there is no typing. Do you know what is typing?
No, Vinod.
Uh,
String,
in Java we have different types of objects, right? We have
Oh, yeah.
string, we have a different integer, float, a
Data
double.
types.
Okay, yeah. No,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah,
data
that I
So
types
know.
are
there is
there, right?
no
So
data types. Yeah.
yeah, so those types are not there in JavaScript. Okay.
Yeah.
So everything will be declared as a variable, var. Okay, and this will be the name of the variable and the value of the variable. Okay, and I'll just run this again. Now you can see the output is coming here. So the same thing I can do for, again, foo equal to 23. Save this, run this. So this would have actually given a compile error in Java, because I'm using something as a string, again converting it to into an integer without doing anything. Am I right?
Yes.
So this would not work with Java, but it is working fine with JavaScript. So these are some basic differences, because JavaScript does not have any typing. Everything is declared as a variable.
Mhm.
All right. Okay. So yeah, this is one of the major difference, but this also comes handy as an advantage. But if you use it in a wrong way, it will also cause a lot of disadvantages. Like if you have thousands of lines of code, and if you see a variable, you don't know what is the type it is used for. In some places you might have assumed that to be an integer, in some places you might have assumed it into a string, correct? That will
Yeah.
cause a lot of trouble. So for this reason, there is something called as TypeScript. Okay, this is JavaScript. There is something called as TypeScript. Okay, I'll just give you a brief overview. I mean, we can cover this maybe in a separate class, but I'm just giving you overview. TypeScript was developed by Microsoft. Okay, this is a layer over JavaScript. Okay, everything which is a JavaScript, it would be like something like test.js file, correct? If you just rename that into a test.ts file, it becomes a TypeScript. Okay, because every JavaScript file is a TypeScript file, because it is all built on top of it, right? So everything in JavaScript is available in TypeScript. On top of that, TypeScript gives typing. Typing, I mean, you have things like number. Number means float, double, all those things in Java becomes number here. Then you have string, and you have other objects. All right. Are you getting a basic idea of what is the difference between TypeScript and JavaScript?
Yes.
Okay. So what I meant there is, I'll just try it out.
Vinod,
I'm not. Yeah.
for TypeScript, like the code we should be written is saved in a file called test.ts, right?
Yeah. So I created a demo.js. Similarly, I created a demo.ts. Okay.
Okay.
What I'll do, I'll just copy the same code here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Paste it here. See, here it did not give me any error, but here it is not giving me error. Let me save this and
So,
run this and show you
okay.
TypeScript. See, it will still work fine, but it will highlight to me telling that type 23 is not assignable to type string.
Okay.
Okay, so it is something like a layer on top of JavaScript. It has all the advantages of JavaScript, but for
Mm-hmm.
the developers, it will help them by giving proper typing. So
Okay.
if you, there will be something like you can declare this as number. Okay, the moment you declare this as number, it will say you cannot have a string to it. Okay, so if I make this maybe 40. Okay, I think in, okay, the way you declare in TypeScript, it is slightly different. I think something like this. I keep forgetting it. So for now, you just remember that it is going to give extra typing. Okay, that much is sufficient for now. This TypeScript, I'll try to cover it later. Okay, we actually use TypeScript for developing AngularJS. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. For now, all you need to understand is TypeScript is very similar to JavaScript. It will just be if you rename JS file as a TS file, it becomes a TypeScript file, and you can have extra benefits there by having extra typing. Here everything is a generic variable, var. So you got a basic idea of what it is, right? What I mean here, correct?
Yes. Yes, Vinod.
All right. So let's look into some more examples. So the next example is okay. I'll just comment it. So I'll do one by one. So maybe I'll just number it like this and paste it. Okay. So here we have two variables, and in the console we are actually trying to print do a concatenation. So today I'll be giving you some samples of JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript is little bit it's not complicated. It is just that it is little bit difficult to easily get what it is actually doing. So it will be little bit confusing. But once you get a lot of experience on it, right? So it will become easier day by day. Okay. The main reason for JavaScript being a little bit complex is because we do not have typing there, correct? And the advantage of doing that is we can easily run it even without compiling. All right, everyone clear? Why is it different? Ipsita, are
Yes.
you there still there?
Yeah.
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 All right. So moving on. Today, I'll be showing you different types of some sample codes. Okay. All the codes are intended to give you some idea of JavaScript. You cannot know everything in JavaScript in a single day. All right. And we need not learn everything in JavaScript also. Do you agree? We just need to know some basic stuff so that we can start off with Protractor. Do you agree?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So most of the samples what we provide here is intended to help you in interview. Most of them are from interview questions. If you know these things, you would be able to handle most of the interview questions with JavaScript. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be just copy pasting some snippets. Okay. I'll be jumping from here and there, but don't get confused. These are just to explain you how Java and JavaScript are slightly different. All right.
Yes, Vinod.
Yeah. So here we just have two variables, and those two variables are printed using console, and the expected output is I just saved it. I'll just run the code again. Now, okay, I did not save this. Let me save this. Okay. Okay, you can see the output here. It is just concatenating and coming. All right.
Yeah. Yes, Vinod.
Yeah, it's a simple code. I'll be giving you some lot of snippets today. Okay. I just want you to try those snippets by yourself. That is good enough for JavaScript.
Vinod, I have a question.
Yeah, tell me.
So here in the you are executing in two ways, right? In the terminal part and the above, right? So how you are executing the above? Or do
Above,
you?
where? No, this is not executing. This is I'm writing the code.
Yeah,
Just
but you
like
know
in
how you
.java.
are the lines which you have written, how you are executing.
See, this is a command prompt.
Yeah, without
Okay.
command prompt, can you are directly also you are executing, or you
No,
have
you
to
have
have
to
the
use
terminal
command
thing?
prompt to run it. Yeah, you have to have this to execute. Or if you open up a terminal outside this and drag and drop the file, that will also execute it. By you should say node space path of the file, basically.
So you should have
That will,
Node to execute this in Visual Studio.
yes, yes, yes. You have to have node. Otherwise, without node, it won't work. So what I'm doing here is I'm saying node followed by I need to give the path of the file. But here,
Yeah,
because my path is I'm already on the particular folder,
yeah.
I can just say the name of the file.
Oh, because I downloaded Node, but I need to restart it. But I thought maybe from Visual Studio directly I can execute that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I need to restart, but I will do that later.
Okay.
So we know Node is installed in Visual Studio, right? Within it.
No.
No.
Node is installed on your PC, and Visual Studio is also installed on your PC. They don't have dependency with each other.
Oh, okay.
So this is just a command prompt. So outside the command prompt also I showed you, right, in the terminal.
Mhm.
Here
Yeah.
also I showed you node, then I gave that path of the demo.ts. The same thing was executing.
Yeah.
So we have this demo thing here, right? Let
Mhm.
me show you again. I'll uncomment this, save this. Now I need to get the same output in the terminal also. So I have a node here. Then where is my file? Here is my file. I'll have to minimize this. Yeah, I'll just drag and drop this after node so that it gives the whole path. Okay, and I enter. You can see the output is same. So not just here, even if you run it on the server or if you run it on the browser, it will still be the same. Okay, if you want
We
to see
can
that,
see only your Visual Studio.
Yeah, your screen
Yeah.
kind of
We don't see
Vinod.
the console. Yeah.
We
oh
don't see
yeah,
One
our
give me
option.
Visual Studio.
1 minute, 1 minute. Okay, say, do you see my browser now?
No,
Oh,
it's
no,
still
not yet.
froze.
How about now?
No.
Yes. Now I can see.
Yeah, now I.
Okay. So I actually brought up Visual command prompt, and there I gave a command node followed this is node followed by the path of the file. Okay, and ran it, and this is giving me as the same error, same output. This variable first value and that variable second value.
Can you
This is the
show
same
me?
what we.
Vinod, are you
I'm able to see
showing
it.
your console? Because we just
Yeah.
in the web page.
Just seeing the Node web page. Yeah.
Okay. Oh. How about now?
Yeah. Now it's visible.
Yeah, now it's.
Yeah.
I
So
can see.
basically, I opened up a command prompt, then I did a nodes followed by the path of the file, and that will run it and give us the output. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think Divya also showed using the command prompt only. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she
So the
switched
same
to.
thing, if we
Mhm.
actually go to the inspect also here and open the console window for us and paste in the same code what we have in Visual Studio Code. Here's my Visual Studio Code. Here, if I copy all these 3 lines and go back to my console here and paste it, enter, this will also give the same. So basically all I'm trying to tell you is JavaScript is nothing but you have to write it in a file with extension JS, and you can run it in multiple places. There's nothing like a compile here.
But in browser console, you don't need Node, right? Directly you can do.
Yeah, that's because the browser is capable of running. If you want to run it on a PC, you need to have Node.
Yeah.
That is,
Yeah,
if
I
you want to
tried to
run
see
it as a standalone. All right. Shall we continue?
Yes, Vinod. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So to keep it simple, we'll stick on to this approach of running it from Visual Studio Code. But remember, all these things can be done outside also. Okay.
Yeah, Vinod.
Okay. Now I'll show you a lot of code snippets. Okay, we'll go through them one by one. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Next is placeholders in JavaScript. Okay. We can do things like we have 2 variables, and you can use placeholders like %s will be replaced by the first and the second variable. Okay. Let me save this. Let me show you the thing. See, hello world. hello is actually printed in this place, and world is actually printed in this place.
And
Basically,
what is percentage S here, Vinod? Can you explain again?
percentage S is placeholder.
Placeholder. Okay.
Yeah. So if you have anything like, hi, my name is percentage S. I am doing percentage S. Okay. Now if I run the same thing, I'll save this. I'll run this. See, my name is, it'll print, then it'll print the value of the variable, then again all the hardcore string, value of the variable. Basically like a plus sign in Java. We used to have a concatenation in Java, right? For strings.
Yeah.
Here, it is placeholder is something very similar to that. It will just
Okay.
replace the percentage just with the variable name. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't get this.
What exactly did you didn't get in this?
So it means that wherever that percent s is there, that variable, that value is printed, you mean to say?
Yeah. So you have two variables after this comma, right?
Yeah.
So that will be replaced with percentages. So
Okay.
for example, if I have var name equal to Vinod, okay,
Okay. Yeah.
and I can have another percentage yes here. I'll say some string, then percentage s, and I just need to add on here and say name. Okay, and it will replace all these three things with 1, 2, and 3 percentages.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
got it. Yeah, got it. Yeah. So each percentage
Okay.
will replace with the value of that variable.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay. So next we'll see objects. Console can also print objects. We'll see that. I'm just commenting this code. You can run it later. This code is already available in Google Drive. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So here what I'm doing, I'm actually trying to print a objects. So I have a key value pair. Okay. Which is actually used in JSON. You know what is a JSON?
Yes.
JavaScript object notation, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I just
So basically, in JavaScript, every class will have all the definitions of its properties, and the objects they can be accessed like object dot property name, right? On the same lines here, different properties can be represented in a simple string format. Okay, but it will be there is a syntax which is called as JSON, JavaScript object notation, where the whole object can be represented as a string like this. So let me just execute this, you'll understand. So I'll just clear the console first. Okay, then I'll run the command. See, the whole object is printed here. Okay, this is better understood if I run it in browser. Let me go to my browser. Do you see my browser now?
Yes.
So if I just paste the code here, enter, you can see the output is actually an object which can be expanded like this. Do you see that?
Yes, Vinod.
Yeah. So this object has properties like email, ID, uh, is hidden in UI, logic name, login name, is site admin. All these things are properties with the values. This is a boolean value, this is a number value, this is a string value, again number, string, and this is an object which is undefined. Correct?
Uh-huh.
So basically, what I'm trying to tell you is in JavaScript, objects can be represented using a syntax called JSON, where all the properties and the values can be easily represented like a simple string. Like a simple string. You still have to follow some syntax, like you have to have flower braces open and close, then you have to have a comma, then you have to have key value pair between each of them. This becomes a key. The one right side to the colon becomes a value. So this is general syntax for JSON. Okay, JSON becomes a JavaScript object. You could see that you'll see some examples in future, which will explain all those. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So one more thing. Yeah. In the console, okay, of the thing, just to let you know how it works. I'm sorry. I am sharing something wrong. Give me a minute. Do you see the Google Chrome now, right now? Ipsita, do you see the Google Chrome?
Yes, Vinod. You're able to see.
Yeah. I'll just paste a code here, which says console.log document.body. I think even Divya might have done this, right?
This one.
If not, yeah, I'll just explain what this is. So let's
Okay.
just print this first. See, when I did this console.log document.body, it printed the whole body here. Do you see that?
Yeah.
The header, div, a, footer. So basically what is happening is the whole web page, initially, if you remember HTML CSS class, I told you that we have the web page loaded with three things. One is HTML, which is a skeleton, CSS, which is the styling, and JavaScript, which is the interactivity, correct?
Right.
I refer to it as a human body, where HTML becomes a skeleton, CSS becomes the skin, and JavaScript becomes a life, correct?
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Here, using JavaScript, we are trying to access the whole document object model body. Okay, the whole body, which is nothing but the whole page in this case, will be printed here. Console.log is nothing but it is printing, and here we are asking it to print the whole body. So you can just get an idea of console.log is able to manage many things. Okay, and in JavaScript, everything becomes a simple object. Okay, document became an object, and dot body gave us the whole body. Okay, the syntax will be roughly here and there similar, but not exactly same as in Java. But because we don't have the compiling layer where we compile our code, our Eclipse used to tell what is right, what is wrong when we do some mistakes. But here, because there is no level of compilation, you have to run your code to see what is going on. All right, if you make some syntax errors here and there, you have to run your code to understand what is going on. There is no compile and then run. All right.
Yes.
Yeah. So actually, I'll be showing you many things here and there. The reason it is still fine is because these are just some interview questions where you may expect to be, I mean, if you understand whatever I'm showing you here, that is good enough. You need not try to relate everything. Okay. When we start working on Protractor with JavaScript, then you will understand the relation of what gets connected where. Today, we are just going through the code snippets for you to help you on JavaScript interview questions. That's all. All right.
Okay.
Because JavaScript is, I wouldn't say drastically, but a lot of difference between Java and JavaScript. A lot of things may be confusing. So you may expected some unexpected results also. Like we saw, we were able to assign integers to string and all that, right? So some unexpected things like that will be happening here and there in JavaScript. So those samples I'm just providing you.
Okay.
Okay. The samples which I provide in the classroom is good enough. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on. Give me a minute. I'm just getting other. Okay. Let's see what is alert. Okay. In browser we have something called as alert, right? Alert window.
Yes, Vinod.
If you see that,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes,
So
Vinod.
that alert window we can easily trigger like this: window.alert with some message. So message could be anything like this. Enter. You can see a pop-up comes here. So this proves the point that browser is actually running this code immediately on the same page.
Okay.
Okay. So if I actually go to this network here, you can see. Okay, let me refresh the page. You can see all these files being downloaded, right? See analytics.js, download.js, dnt helper.js. Do you see
Yeah.
these files, script files? Basically, in web development, in web, what is happening is you request for something, and for that request, you get a response from the server. That will be in three types. One is the HTML, which is a skeleton. You get CSS, which is the coloring style and all that. Then you get the JS, which does all the interactions on button click, what should happen and all that. On top of that, on every browser gives you option in the developer console to write your own script on top of it. It's like an add-on. So
Okay.
basically, if you actually right click this, open, or I want to see this. Means how do I open? Response preview. Yeah, here it is. So this particular Node.js.org was developed by someone, right? They wrote this code. This is a JavaScript code. Do you see this? All the variables are var.
Yeah.
This is a simple JavaScript, what they have written. So you can see download.js, that is also as JavaScript. You can see this code here. In Java, you cannot do this because everything is packaged as a Java.jar. But in JavaScript, I told you everything is supposed to be run as a whole file, right?
Yeah.
So are you getting an idea of how JavaScript is different from Java?
Yes.
Yeah, and syntaxes here and there it will be slightly different. Those syntaxes I'm just trying to give you some overview. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vinod, sorry, like
Uh-huh.
I got confused in the last part. Like you went to network, and from there you took the request, whichever is sending from the website, or like
See,
what are
if
the
you go
options
to
you are
any
getting
page,
in the mail?
when I go to Facebook, right?
Yeah.
When I go to, yeah, see, this is a Google page where I search for Facebook and it is giving me all these things, correct?
Hmm.
I had told you initially that all these things are nothing but uh, they have to come in three formats: HTML, JavaScript, CSS, correct?
Yeah.
Only
Yes.
then all the browser would be able to render it, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
No, I'm just selecting some of the JavaScript and showing you the code inside that. That's all. So if you see, this is the image. See, these images are being loaded. Okay, this is another image which is being loaded in this page. Then you have this photo. See, my profile picture is coming. You can see whatever is being responded by the application, right, server, that is
Okay.
shown in the
That
network
part
stack.
will be shown in the preview. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just showing you some samples of JavaScript files
Okay.
where you
It's
can see
like
the whole
the
JavaScript code here.
dn.js, I mean .js file, and you are selecting it, you will get the code.
Yeah, I'm seeing the code here in the
Okay.
preview.
Okay, I got it.
So all I'm trying to explain here is that
Mhm.
JavaScript is not compiled in any way. It has to be rendered as it is to the browser.
Okay.
The same is the case not just in the browser. Anywhere you use JavaScript, there is nothing like a packaging or anything. You have to plainly run it as it is.
Okay, Vinod.
Yeah. So coming back to the samples of JavaScript, let me go back to my Visual Studio Code. Ipsita, you can see my Visual Studio Code, right?
Not yet. Still seeing the Facebook. Oh, yes, now I can see.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm just commenting this code. Let me comment this code. Okay, give me a minute. So let's move on to the next sample. You saw the alert, how it was coming, right?
Yes, Vinod.
Okay, give me a minute. Okay, the next is we'll run some more samples. Give me a minute. I'll go back to my console. Please confirm me once you see my Chrome. Do you see my Chrome?
No. Yes, now I can see.
Yeah. So in this is only is whatever I'm showing you on Chrome usually is a browser specific JavaScript code like alert dot window dot alert, right? You cannot run that on Node.js. You can run it only on browser. Okay. So this is
Okay.
also another browser specific code which is prompt. Okay. All I'm doing is I'm actually bringing up a prompt which is a pop-up like window where you get a input option. It is asking how old are you. I'll just say 35, enter, and it'll say it'll print out that output. So these are the two lines of code I wrote for that. Var age equal to prompt of whatever string, then that age value whatever I type in will get assigned to this variable, and I'm printing that variable. Is this clear,
Okay.
everyone?
So when the
Clear,
prompt
Ipsita?
window, yes. So when the prompt window pop up, you need to input some value, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So whatever I input will be assigned to this age variable, that is age,
And
and
display.
here it will be printed.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you just run
Okay.
this and show us? Prabhu?
Yeah, I ran it, right? Okay, maybe you didn't see it. Give me a minute. Let me run it again. So you see this, right? I'll just clear it. I'll paste it again. And the moment I hit enter, the pop-up will come here. It says, how old are you here? Do you see this pop-up here on top? Not
I
yet,
don't
is it?
see any pop-up.
No,
I
Vinod,
don't
it's
see the
no.
pop-up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where it is coming?
Do you see it now?
No. Can you?
No.
Oh, okay. Now, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now
Yeah,
it
no.
came.
Now, whatever I type in here will be assigned to this variable, and that variable is being printed here. So let me run this again. The moment I click enter, pop-up will come. If I whatever age I give here, I say enter, that age will be printed here. All right.
Yeah. Yes, Vinod.
All right. So coming back to Visual Studio Code, give me a minute. I'm just looking for other kind of code. Some samples, okay? So just like we saw alert, we saw prompt, right? Now there is another way, which is called confirm. Okay,
Okay.
and that will just say bring up a OK cancel button. Okay, so I just copy the wrong code. Give me a minute. So do you see this window dot confirm? I have put it in if condition, and I'll say console dot log. I'll print yes is clicked something. Okay, I'll enter it. So if I press OK, console is not okay. It's a small c. and if I press OK, it will print yes I clicked. Okay, if I don't, if I run this again, if I press cancel, that if it's not even printed, so it goes to the false. Window.confirm is giving a false, so it is like a yes no confirmation window. These are some basic web specific console options. Okay. Yeah. So usually web developers would be worrying about all this. You need not. I'm just giving you some overview of JavaScript. Remember that. Okay.
Yes, madam.
Okay. Let's continue again with our samples. Okay. Give me a minute. Okay. You understood how to create a variable, right? And how to assign it and all that. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let's see some arrays. Okay. Give me a minute. I started the recording again. I'll just rerun it because it was not recorded. The same code, whatever I explained there, I'm just running it again. Here you can see the first time it gives 0 and the second time 3. Okay, so var keyword is actually optional in JavaScript. All right. Just give me. Now let me switch over to Visual Studio Code. All right. Okay. So far you have seen some basic ideas, right? I'll just have some more. Okay. I'll just comment this part of the code. So this is some sample of arrays. Okay. Now I'll just print this, save this. I'll just try to run this here. Okay, I just have to clear. I need to put it inside a console. I'll explain the code. Give me a minute. Guys, can you hear me? Are you still with me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, save this, run this. See, the output is true and false. I'll explain why it is like that. In JavaScript, there is something called as double equal to. Double equal to, just like in Java, does a comparison. Okay. But this comparison is just to compare the value. Okay. But when you say triple equal to, that is 3 times, that will compare the value along with the type of the object. Okay. I'll give you a simple example here. I'll copy paste the same thing here. Hopefully my example is correct. I don't confuse you. Let me try. 2, 2, 2 and okay, let me try this. Save this. Yes. Do you see this? The line number 59, it is returning true because only the value would be compared. So the string 2 and the integer 2 comes to be true because both are compared using double equal to. But in the immediate next line, the same thing I'm using comparing against triple equal to, where the value along with the type of the object is also compared. Simple?
Yeah.
Yeah. And null is actually emptiness in JavaScript. Anything empty will be null. Okay. And undefined is a special type in JavaScript. It's not a type, it is actually a special state of the object which has not yet been defined. So when I say var a, this is actually a is actually a variable, and the value is a value of a would be undefined now. Okay, give me 1 minute, please.
Yeah, it is Lalita. In line 59, you are comparing 2 is equal to 2, right? But still you are mentioning in double quote, right? So both are different, right? So how it is comparing? Is it typecasting 2
This
to
double
number?
no, there's nothing like a typecast or anything here. Double equals to in JavaScript will compare only the values. Triple equal to will compare value and type of the data. Is that
Yeah,
clear?
but here the first.
Don't worry how it is working. Is it typecasting? Is it doing something? How is it coming to nothing? Don't worry about all those things. Just assume that in JavaScript, see, when I say var ABC is my variable name, this is equal to 20. Okay, then var BCD equal to 20. Now, are they two different? If I do if ABC equal to BCD, okay, this will be true.
Yeah.
Okay, if I say triple equal to, this will be false. Simple. Don't overcomplicate things, just keep it this much. See,
Okay.
all I'm trying to tell you is you cannot digest the whole JavaScript in 1 day, in 2 hours. Okay, all we are trying to tell you is these are the regular interview questions. As you understand that JavaScript is very much similar to Java and slightly different in syntaxes here and there and how it behaves. So I have explained that part of the theory to you, like how it is different, why we don't have a compiler, and why it is special because it can be directly run, need not be compiled, and all those theories I have already given you. Now you know that JavaScript is slightly different from Java, correct, Lalita?
Yeah.
Now I'm just showing you what is it different, that's all. I'll be jumping here and there to show you what are the differences between JavaScript and Java. That's all. So don't try to connect all the things together. No, just take it one by one. Okay, individually. I'm just giving you some samples where JavaScript and Java is behaving differently. That's all. So this much is good enough for your interview preparation.
Okay.
And when we start with Protractor, you'll understand how we are using JavaScript. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Shall we continue with our examples?
Yes.
Yeah, let me comment this one also. Can someone open up Drive and see if all my code is being saved? You should find inside the read only, you should find a folder. Okay, that folder should have all the JavaScript.
Yes, Manoj, it is saved.
Okay. All right, let me look out for the next one. Give me a minute, I'm just looking for other examples. Okay, there is a special function in JavaScript. I'll show you that. Which is called as isNaN. You know what is NaN?
Not a number.
Yeah, that's right. So isNaN will verify whether it is a number or not. So let me run this code. I need to put it in a console. I keep forgetting that. Let me put this into a console.
Is the recording under Protractor folder?
Which? No. You mean the code?
I don't see that. The recording you said, right?
No, recording is not
Oh,
updated
sorry.
as of now. I just mentioned the code.
Yeah.
Okay, so here. So when I run it, you can see this is returning false. Why is it returning false? 1 is a number. Oh, it is verifying whether it is not a number. Opposite. Okay. If you give an if you make this as a string, I think this will return true. Let's try. Okay. If I say 1 ABC, now it should return true. Yeah. Do you see that output?
Yes.
Okay. So this is some special function in JavaScript. All right.
Okay.
I'll just copy paste some samples of it. You can go through them lately. Okay. Later. I'll just paste it here. Okay. I have just commented what all would be the result here. Okay.
Okay.
Just like undefined, infinity is something similar where you have anything divided by 0, all this gives infinity here in JavaScript. Okay. Null is empty. Undefined is not that defined. I explained what is undefined, right? Or I skipped it, I think. Yeah, give me a
Yeah,
minute. I'll
yeah,
just
we know
explain.
that. Can you explain again?
Yeah. So when I say var a is undefined now. When I say a equal to 10, a becomes 10. Okay. When I say a equal to null, a becomes empty. All right. So anything which is not yet initialized, that is undefined. Once initialized, it will be value. And after initializing also, you can clear the value by assigning it as to a null. So in JavaScript, null is different, undefined is different, and infinity is something similar where infinity is actually when you divide by 0, you get infinity. Okay. So just get familiar to these things. You need not know everything. I can tell you that much. All right.
Okay.
So these samples, you can go through them later. I'll just okay, I need not comment this. I can keep it as it is. I'm just looking for more samples. Okay, to explain about the undefined, I have some samples. I have a variable. Okay, I'm just verifying if it is equal to undefined. Do you see this? Line number 93, 94. Shall we try this?
Yes.
See, is undefined true. All right, the type of the variable is undefined. I mean, not the type, I mean to say foo and undefined has the same data type. Let's give it that way. When you use double equal to, it will compare the values. Otherwise, it will compare this.
Even
Okay.
here, let is the object. So object.
Foo is an object, but it is not defined.
What is let here?
Yeah, what is let here?
Oh, I shouldn't have done this. Okay, let's use it as var. Let's keep it this.
Okay.
Okay, there is some new syntax in ES6. Let's not go there and confuse. Okay, just assume it's a var.
Okay.
All right. All right. Moving on. Okay, let's see how to write functions. Okay, I'll just a simple function I'll write here. I'll just comment this line. I have defined a function. This is the syntax of it. Function, name of the function, parameter for the function, in the braces, all the definition for the function. Okay, this will only create the function. To call the function, you have to explicitly call it. So let me call foo, and I can say I can pass a variable. Let's see if it works fine. Okay, see, it says is undefined false because the parameter here becomes some value is going to that parameter and it is returning true, I mean false. If I do with foo and if I pass empty, in Java, if you have a parameter and if you don't pass the parameter, it will give you compile error. In JavaScript, nothing like that. It will work.
Okay.
See, the first time it is giving true, second time it is just assuming to be undefined. The parameter becomes undefined. Do you see that? Everyone, are you still with me? Is it too much confusing?
No, Vinod, I mean,
Yeah, just don't try to connect everything. Okay, just take it one by one and keep it simply there. Okay, just try to understand whatever just samples I'm giving. That is good enough for you to attend the interview. Okay, during the interview, if they ask you any questions on JavaScript, how to do this, that, what is the expected result of this, that much is good enough. Okay, let's
okay.
not try to digest the whole JavaScript in a single day. Whatever examples I'm giving, that is good enough. And some syntaxes and whatever Divya actually has given some examples of writing functions, how to import, how to export a module and import it in a different file.
We
All those
know the
things.
module. Can you explain it once?
Sorry,
Can you
which one?
explain that module again? Module.
Yeah, I'll explain that in the end. Before that,
Okay.
I'll just walk through some more examples. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Operations that run.
Here I have one question. Like 90, in line number 96, it's a function, right? So line number 93, you are, I mean, you are defining the function or like considering
Defining
it
a
as
function.
an.
It is just
Okay.
defining a function, not calling the function.
Okay. In
Yeah.
100 and 101 only, you are calling the function, right?
Yes. Yes.
You
Okay.
know, is line number
And
93
one more thing
related
in
to this
JavaScript,
function?
see, I'll just comment this line. It won't give me any error, but when I run it, it will show me foo is undefined. Foo is not a function. Do you see that? That is one more difference between Java and JavaScript. No compiling. Okay.
And Vinod,
And tell
param
me,
is the variable, right?
what is the
Parameter.
variable?
Param is parameter in that function. Who?
Yeah, this is a parameter. I'll just keep it as simple as E or something.
Okay, if you comment the line number 93, will that give any? It is not related, right?
This one is not related.
Yeah, line number 93, you can comment it, it's still function.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that is a different sample example. This is a different example. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay, I'll just paste in some more code. Okay. And explain you what is not a number. I told you NaN is a special case, right?
Yes.
On the same lines, I'll write some more here. I'll just separate it like this. Okay, this is actually some cases where I'll just comment it also. If you multiply a string with a number, this will return not a number. And mathematical operations on a string will also return NaN. And array and this being multiplied also will return NaN. So these are some samples I'm just showing you. where all you can expect a NaN result. See, all these things would have been straightforward in Java, because in Java everything is typecasted. You compile and these things would give compile error. But in JavaScript you can't do that, right? As an alternative, these things will return something called as NaN, not a number. Am I clear?
Yes.
All right. Just try to relate that way. Okay. Okay, I think floor is actually rounding off, I think. Let me try. I'll do a console dot log. I'll do math dot floor, and if I give 10.2, save this, run this. See, it is math dot floor is rounding off. Okay, so math actually has a lot of functions like cos, sine, absolute value, exponent, rounding off, then minimum, maximum, random values generation. So math is a library within JavaScript which gives you all these functions. Am I clear?
Yes, Vinod.
Yeah, yes, Vinod.
On the same lines here, if I do this one, it will give not a number. This will not give compile error. This will give not a number.
Okay.
Oops. This is not giving not a number. How come? I was expecting not a number. Okay, maybe I'll do this.
Anything within a string, even if it is a number.
Yeah, if it is a number, it is taking that. So JavaScript is something like a smart boy who keeps converting this to that, and all the typecasting, everything, he takes care of it. Right?
Okay.
So it would be a little bit difficult to digest at once, but the easiest way is just to give it a try. Just run the code, you will see the output. Do you agree?
Yes.
So you never know what is the expected output, but once you get used to it, right, it will be you will understand it better. I just did not say it clear. Let me run it. See, first time, second time 10 10, third time NaN. So NaN is actually a special case, not a number. Okay, in JavaScript, just like undefined, infinity, null, and all that. All right.
Yes, Vinod.
So, Vinod, here, even if you put the 10.2 in quotes as a string, it is considering as a number and returning the
Yes, yes.
floor
So
value.
JavaScript, most of the time, even if you give it as a string, it is capable of converting it by default to integer. You don't have to do that integer.cast or convert or anything.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to do any circles. JavaScript is smart.
So that is the reason it was equating 2 is equal to 2, right? Double equal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right.
Vinod, what is floor?
Mhm.
Basically, what does it mean? Floor.
Floor is actually rounding of the number.
Okay. Yeah.
We know is this math functions are from SQL? Are the SQL functions? The floor
Mathematical
C.
functions. So when you do in Visual Code, you can see what all functions are available. What is this? Cos theta, absolute values, all the mathematical default values are there, right? Square root,
Okay.
all such things are here. Minimum, maximum, sine of it, square root of it, tan of it. So it is basically some mathematical library.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm just giving you samples because you can expect this to be a question and expect what is the output. Okay. So your interview questions will most probably be like this. What is the expected output for this? What is the expected output for this? Okay, so we are directly giving you some samples in that line. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'll just comment this instead of alert. I'll just say RE10. Okay, I'll just run this code and I'll explain what is happening. What happened? Okay, I'm not sure why this is behaving like this. Usually they should give something like
We
because of
know
the
they
double
should
quote?
like 129 line time start.
1 minute, 1 minute. Let me first get output. No such label end.
Can you try the single quote?
No, it's better I remove all this to keep it simple. Hmm. Let me try this in browser. I'll copy paste the same code. Let me run it. Timer default does not exist. Hmm. Actually, the console.time should print the uh, starting time, and maybe for some reason it's not working. So okay, I'll go back to my Visual Studio Code and I'll explain what is happening. So if you have anything like you want to check what is going on at okay, I'll just say start between end. Okay, let me run this. Hmm.
We know it's like dot get time. I mean, some variable equal to dot get time, and then if we pass that variable in the console dot time, will it get print?
I'm not sure. Why is behaving like this?
Undefined.
Okay, I'll get back to you on this one. I don't
Vinod, I just
know
send
why.
you a set of code in chat window. Can you able to try that one?
Where I output. I didn't get you. Okay,
I
you
mean,
have
yeah.
in the console here itself.
Yeah, like,
Concatenation, it came. Time end is not coming.
okay.
Not sure. Okay, that's okay, fine. Basically, I think. Okay. Basically, it is printing the time between this and this, I think. Yeah, I think I got it now. So, in our code, I'll just go back to my code here. I'll just say
Whatever the
response
label
and
you started the timer, then it should call the same label with the end time end. Then it will calculate the time
yeah,
between those.
yeah, that's right. Let's try this.
No, it should time end. You should call it.
Time end, right? Is it E
Time will
cap?
start the timer, and then time end will calculate the time between the timer start and the end.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes. So in total, it is taking 0.3 milliseconds to complete. So that is what it is happening. So we can do that here as well. But here, why is it not printing? Okay, here I'm not sure why it is not printing in Node. In browser console, yeah.
line 129, you change it to time end. And 31 also if you want. Yeah, now if you run.
Yeah, now it is telling 0.754 milliseconds. So basically, we are starting the time and ending the time this way. And response in is the keyword there. Okay. So if I have a different keyword here, say suppose function 1, okay, I can do this in here and here. So it will tell me how long does this line take to execute. See, now the function 1 is taking this much time. All right.
So we know this function one, it is user
Just
defined
a strict,
name. You can
no,
enter
it is
any name.
nothing. It is just any keyword. I mean, any key. Like in dictionaries, we give a key value pair, right? On the same lines, whatever you give the first time, you do it the second time. It gives the time delay between line number 126 and 131. So I can give this anything. I can say this ABC,
Oh,
but I
okay.
need to make sure all this is ABC.
Okay. So between those lines, there can be any code, right? So it will
Yeah.
execute, it will
So,
show the time.
this sample is just to get the time delay to execute the code. How
Okay.
long does the script take to complete? If you want to find that, you can use this code.
But you are using time end 2 times, right? So,
Yeah, I'm just ending it 2 times, but you need not do this. This also is good.
you don't have to,
Let's
I
keep it
mean,
simple.
start is
No,
not.
no, no, don't have to do. Don't have to do 2 times. So this is simple. Just understand this much.
Okay.
Start is just dot time, and end is time end. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Going back to my sample, still a lot more things to cover. 1 minute formatting. Mhm.
So we know that it is
Mhm.
console.document time and is just saying how much time it is taking to run the code in between, right? Like 127 and 128.
Yeah. Just the time to take in between
Okay.
those two lines.
Thank you.
I'm just looking for more examples. Give me a minute. So far is everyone clear? Whatever I covered?
Yes, Vinod.
Okay, one more console example. There is a feature called console.table. Okay, I have a JSON object. Okay, which is having key value pairs, and there are three objects in the array. Okay, sorry, four. Do you see this? This is the person ID 123, 124, 125, and 126. And the whole object, I want to print it as a table. So I give the variable name followed by what all I need to print, name and person ID. Okay, let me minimize this to show you. Do you see the whole code now? This is my JSON object, and I'm doing this. Do you see the whole code now?
Yes.
Okay, shall we try to run this now?
Yeah.
Okay, I think this will work only in browser probably. Why is this not working? See, the output is printed as a table. Do you see that in the browser?
Yes.
So this is one more function you may want to know. Moving on.
So that table is web-based function, is it?
Sorry.
The table console table. So that that is only a web based, or
Yeah,
it will
it is supported only in browser, I think. Yeah.
okay.
Can you just scroll upwards like the table above the 58.
Okay.
No, I see nothing. I can only see 158 line. Yeah, yeah, okay. So it's giving only two attributes, right? Table
Sorry.
name is person array. So is it printing two attributes, right? Name and person ID is printing in a table.
Yeah, that's right. So whatever you want, you can print it.
Can you show me the resultant ones, please?
Yeah.
Can you show me the table ones, Vinod? I couldn't see
Yeah,
the
I
table.
showed you. Can you see it now?
Okay, yeah, I understood. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Now let's see some more examples here. I'll just have to comment this much. There is another keyword called type of. Let me show you. See, when you give a keyword followed by a data, it will give you this particular keyword type of will give you the type of the object. Okay, so if I have this, let's see the output. This is also a string. If I remove this, then it should give probably number. Yeah, number. Do you see that output?
Yes, Vinod.
Yeah. So for this, I'll give you some examples. Let me just paste this here. I'll just comment this line. You can read it one by one later. Okay. So basically, when you say type of string, this will give you a string. Type of date also will give you a string. Basically, this is a date. I'll just show you this alone. So this is also a returning string. Number is coming from this console. I'll just comment this. Okay. Clear, guys? And just
Yeah.
for your understanding, I'll just print this one. It will give the current date and time. Okay. Type of this is a string in JavaScript. In Java, this would have been date or something, right? Date time or something type. In JavaScript, there are only very few types. That is like string, then number, not a number, undefined, such things. Okay, guys, clear with all the samples I've given you so far?
Yes, Vinod.
I think I've given you almost most of the samples. Let me see and verify. Give me a minute. Let me stop the recording. Give me a minute.
Yeah, now I
Basically, we
see.
have a Basically, we have a string, and just like string dot split in Java, you have a split here, and this split will actually convert a string into a array.
Vinod, do you have a space
Mhm.
after comma?
Yeah, you can remove that, and then everything will have a space in between. That's all.
Oh, that is for the space.
See?
But it is just only comma. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm just. Does anyone have any other question in JavaScript, or you want? I mean, have you seen some other code somewhere which you want me to explain? If not, okay. Here is another sample. We have a string which is hello world, and we are trying to find the index of O and foo. Okay. Let me save this. Run this again. So the index of O is 4 and foo is -1. O is finding this particular index, the fourth alphabet, with 0 index, and foo is not found at all totally, so that's why it is giving -1. Clear?
Yes.
Sorry guys. Yeah, I think those are my samples. Okay. Okay, yeah. So now I'll show you the modules before I close the classroom, okay? How the modules work. Is that okay?
Yes, Vinod.
Yeah. For that, let's create file 1. Okay. Then also we'll create file 2. Okay. Now our intention is whatever code we write in file 1 should be accessible in file 2. All right. This is our
Okay.
intention. Clear? Let me just take my code. I'll just copy this code. Okay. So basically what I'm doing is I'm declaring a function. Okay, this is a function, right?
Yes.
Okay, it's better if I write it. You'll understand it better. Okay, so I'm first declaring a function. Function func1. Okay. Then if I just do something like okay, can you give me just 1 minute, please? Okay, so this function, all I'm doing is console.log. I'll just print something. Okay, this much is clear to everyone. Then I can call this function like this here. Correct, guys? So much
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah.
I can do this one as node space file 2 .js. Correct. Sorry, file 1.js. Okay, you can see the output here. So much is clear.
Yeah.
Now to export the same function into a different file, that is you cannot write the whole JavaScript in a single file, right? If you do that, the file will become so huge and it will be not maintainable. So like in Java, we do export, import and all that, right?
Yes.
So here also we can do that. For that, what you'll have to do is give me a minute. I'll just take the exact code so I don't confuse you. First of all, you will have to assign this into a variable. Then you can say, instead of calling this, you can say export. I think give me a minute. Let me confirm the code. It's module.export. Yeah. Okay. Then in your file too, you will say require. Correct. Do you remember the code?
Yes,
Where I think
we're not.
you say the class is very silent. I think it is very confusing, right?
Yes, Vinod, kind of.
Is it a kind of import
I,
statements we're using in Java? We are using instead of
yes,
imports,
yes,
we are okay.
yes, it is. I'll just save this file. Save this file. Let me first confirm if it works. We need to run file2.js. Yeah. So basically what we did was file 1 has the definition for this function. Correct?
Yeah.
And file 2, we want to access it. Okay.
Okay.
So the simplest way would be actually to directly cut this. I'm exporting the whole function. Here I require it and I say var 2, call the function. This should also be the same. So basically you understood when I said this one, right? I'll just cut this. This much you understood, right?
Yes.
Yes, no? Now I want to access the same function outside this file. That's all. The changes I do for that is, instead of calling it locally, I'll just comment it. Okay. I will actually export this whole thing. Okay. And import is done using require. So I get the function here. Now I need to call the function. Here I can give any name and just call the function like this. Do you see that?
Yeah.
And final, we are
Okay,
working
I need to click this.
on file 2, right?
Yeah, now do you see it? File 1 on the left and file 2 on the right.
So what
Now
is this
are you able to understand?
function, we know?
Line number, file number, please tell me file name and line number where you are referring.
File 2, second line, where 2 you have given, right? You given as a function.
Yeah, basically I'm just calling the function. See here,
But
doing this much will not call the function. I have to call the function by doing this, right?
yes, we know, but the function's
Whole
name
thing.
is function 1, right? You should call function 1, but you're giving variable of where 2.
First of all, let me do one more thing. I'll create another file. Let me tell you. I'm creating demo2.js. Okay. Now
Vinod,
tell
if file 1 has
me,
more than one
1 minute.
function, how?
Let me complete it. Give me a minute. If it is having more than one, that is why the previous code will help. Yeah, how do we handle that? Okay, I'll come to that. I too haven't tried it. Console.log. Okay, save this. Demo2.js, right? Do you see this? Is this clear?
Yes.
Now, instead of this one, if I just say, I'll just print it here. Do you see this? Now, actually, this gets converted into a object. This is the object actually. If you run this in browser, you'll see it better. I'll just run it in browser. Do you see my browser?
Yes.
So here you can see the first one is printed as a string. The second one is printed as an object. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that means to say that if it is a string, it will come as a string. Anything other than that will come as an object. Now this is the object, correct?
Yes.
Now if I say function add and give that a definition, return a plus b. Okay, this is also an object. This becomes an object.
Okay.
JavaScript is slightly crazy like this. Ignore it. See, do you see that? It says function add. This is also coming as an object. Clear?
Okay.
Now, because this is an object, I should be able to assign it to a variable. Do you agree?
Yes. It's taking function.
Sub equal to, let's say, sub a minus b, something.
Okay.
I'm just making it up, just for you to understand. Okay.
Okay.
Now I can print this console, correct?
Yeah.
Print this variable.
Answer.
So far good, everyone?
Yes, we know.
Let's see the output. See, function add and function subtract. Clear?
Okay.
Now, module dot export, is it capital E? No. Exports equal to subtract. Okay. Now, if I export it from here in my file 2, I can do a var a equal to require dot demo 2. Okay. Now, if I console that, it should give me the same thing. Correct? Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's try. Let me comment this so I don't confuse you. See? Oh, I did the demo too. Sorry. I need to run file 2.js. It says console is not an object, is not a function. Console.log. How good am I? Okay. See that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I say require itself, it is coming, I think. Yeah, I think so. See, when I require itself, all the three things are getting used. The whole file is getting attached and that is executing it. So it is
Yes.
basically like whatever we have here. When you say require, right? Except this particular line, the whole thing, this one
Okay.
gets copied, kind of gets copied here. As good as that. Are you able to understand the concept? Once you do this, you can, whatever is exported, you take it here and then you can just call it.
So we have to export the whole thing, not like just specific function or we don't do it.
So
So
you
we
can actually export just the function, but the require will actually kind of copy the code from there to here, the whole thing.
so Vinod, like my question is here, if we can see in the file2.js, right? The first line you have written var2 of path of the exported, right?
So this
So
where will be what is exported there. So
yeah,
file
so
1,
it will, okay.
here we are exporting this function, right? So
Yes.
this function reference would be assigned there. I told you now, a JavaScript, the function also behaves like an object, right? It has a reference, it has, right?
Yes, Vinod, yeah, I get it. So you have taken this as a reference variable, like var2 is a reference variable, but you're calling var2 as a function. Instead, you should call the function, right, which you have declared in file1. That is what we generally do in Java. If we need to call the function, we
Yes,
call
yes.
that name. But here you're
Yeah,
calling with var2 function. So
yeah.
this is quite confusing.
Because I'm just assigning it to a different variable, that's all. It is as good as doing this one. Let me show you. I'm doing this. var2 equal to this and var2. This is what I'm doing. But just in a different file.
So did you mention this in the first file and then you can call it this way, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, I get it.
All right.
Yeah, yes, Vinod.
Can I just look at the demo to how this exported? Just getting confused how the function is getting exported and the whole thing is getting exported.
You see it parallel?
This only subtract is getting supposed to be extracted right now.
I would say suggest best you try it yourself. One by one, if you type it out. I mean, I'm going to give you the whole code. Code is available. Okay.
Okay.
Try it one by one. See how it is executing to understand better.
Okay, so my here you exported the subtract, right?
Yeah.
But when you called in the require, when you called that, the whole thing is getting displayed.
That is require is actually going to copy paste the code, kind of.
But why do you need the extract here? What is the significance of extract in this? Extract equal to subtract.
Export,
Sorry,
right? Module.export.
export equal to subtract.
Yeah.
How it is related to
Yeah.
subtract?
if because I'm able to do the export, I am able to do a import here. I'm able to assign the
No,
require
what
here.
I'm asking is here
See,
in
if I
demo
don't
2.
do the export, I see require is actually going to do a copy paste. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree on that part.
Yeah. 1 minute.
But I agree
Now,
that export is
when I
needed. Do they require?
when no, it's not required. Actually, I'm trying to explain that. Require is
Okay.
kind of doing a copy paste. Okay, kind of. It is not actually doing a copy paste. Okay, don't
Okay, so if
tell
I
this to
remove
the
this,
interviewer.
if
Okay,
I
so it
remove
is
the
doing it.
export also, I can do the require.
I am not sure. Please try that. The reason you do export is because your export will be assigned to the variable in the next place. So whatever you are exporting here will get imported into this variable.
Okay, yeah, that
How does
was
that
my
sound?
question. In demo 2, you have exported the subtract.
Yeah, so that will get assigned to the A. So only the
So,
subtract will be called the second time. See this? The output I have selected. If I
okay,
had
but how did
exported,
I
yeah,
add? How did the other things came in when you do the
because
file 2?
it is like executing the whole thing. That's why. See, if I instead do the add here, okay, now and run this one, only this part will change.
Only which part is changing?
Add, okay, file 2, right? What happened? Okay, demo 2. Okay, I have not assigned it to a variable.
Can you give some other name? Both function name and this is the same. It is
See, there
confusing.
is a print here, right? That's why it's happening like this.
Okay, can you make
Add
that
FUNC.
addition or something, that variable name? Okay,
Is this okay?
yeah, some difference between those two.
Yeah. Let me remove this console also. Now, do you agree the definition of these two functions are here? Only the definitions.
Okay,
Okay. Now I require that here and print what is exported. Correct?
okay.
Shall we see the output? Only the add will come here. I'll just clear and run again. See, only the add function will come. If I
Oh,
export subtract, only the subtract will come here. Previously, the other things were coming because I had all these consoles here.
okay,
Clear?
okay. So, okay, because it is just a copy paste of the code like that. Anything,
Yeah.
any other
Yeah.
statements other than the functions also will get returned.
Yes.
So
So
Vinod, what
basically, the
happened?
whole thing.
The
See, when I
before
say require there, right? Yeah. Yeah. What is the question?
what happened before actually? You got both
I
function of.
had all these consoles, right? I had a console here. I had a console here. That's why it was all behaving strange. I mean, the output was looking strange. It was not behaving strange. Just ignore these consoles here.
Yes, Vinod. Anyways, if you give module dot export equal to subtract, so it will only the subtract function, right?
See,
Then
it is something like, let me tell you. Now, you have add function, all these things here. Okay? Is it
yeah,
okay? Okay.
yeah.
Now, to be precise, okay. Someone had a question. Let me try to answer it. Okay. Um, shall I? Okay. Give me a minute. Am I recording this? Yeah. Let me pause the recording. Last. Okay. Yeah. Now see the code. Do you see this code? Demo and file 2.
Yeah.
Right?
See.
Yeah. Okay. Do you understand whatever I've done so far?
Yes, there are two functions and the subtract function is exported.
Yeah. This much have you understood?
Yes, and it is imported
And,
to variable A and then
and
printed
this
out.
will print subtract function, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now I
How do
change
you?
this to add. No, listen,
Oh,
listen. Okay, I'll finish it and then you ask me a question. Now I'll say add. Save this. Now it should print this, correct?
yes.
Now I will declare another variable. Call it var super obj, some name. Okay, equal to. Remember creation of initialization of object.
Okay.
I'll say func1 equal to add
Okay.
func2
Okay.
is,
Create that as an object and then
yeah,
export that.
send the object super obj, and here you assign it. Save this. Now the whole thing is printed. Okay, now what is the
Okay.
advantage of this? Now here you can do console.log of a dot function1. I hope I'm clear. I did not confuse you,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Got it.
getting the things done is easy. Explaining things is difficult. Do you agree?
Yeah, I understand now.
See, now the whole object is also written. The function is also individually written.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Now
Thank you.
finally to our, why did we get more consoles? Because we just had console here. If you have console dot log something, this will also be printed because we are doing a require. Clear?
Okay.
And on the same lines, okay, if I have a console dot log of add, even that will be printed 2 times. Clear?
Mm-hmm.
Did I mean, the first 2 lines getting printed is from here and here, and
Okay.
after
Got it.
that these 3 console. Clear?
Yeah. Clear.
Hopefully I did not confuse anyone. Did I confuse anyone? Does anyone have any questions still?
It's a little bit confusing, Vinod, but I think if we see the video once more, it will be very much clear.
Yeah. To make
We
it
know
simple,
one question.
let me not give you this code. Let me just delete this console and all. It's not needed. This purpose
One second,
module.export is
1 second.
always, no, module.export is always needed just to export the definition from one file to another file. So you remember the npm I was explaining, people create their code and they give it as a package. Actually, they export it like this,
Okay.
okay,
We
and they
know
give you the JavaScript file.
one question. Like before, when you gave the console of some string, right? ADFS, DFS.
Please ignore that.
Oh, no, no, no.
Please ignore.
Actually, listen to my question. Actually, my
Okay.
question is you're just importing the functions, right? Add and subtract. So the
Mm-hmm.
before console was not in the function, but still it is printing in the output.
Okay. For that, shall I give you the explanation? Can you hold
Yeah.
on 1 minute? Okay.
Yes.
Now, let me comment all this here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just give require. I'm not assigning it to anything. I'll just require it. Clear?
Yes.
What does this do? This will not print anything, of course, because it is going to copy this whole thing here. That's all. Correct?
Okay. Yeah.
Now, if I have anything, it will print here.
Okay.
Now, if I try to print this, okay, I mean, I have not assigned this to any variable, correct?
Yeah.
So that's why, I mean, require is actually going to kind of copy paste the whole thing, okay? But if you want to get reference to an object, you have to do export, and here you have to assign it to a variable. Do I make
Yeah.
sense?
Yes.
And once you get reference, you can play around with it.
Now, if you just call the subtract function, will it work?
Where? Here is it? Here it won't
Yeah.
understand. You don't have a reference. You don't have a reference, right?
Oh,
It
okay.
won't work. Obviously, it won't work. So
Okay.
if you want, I can just show you. It will say subtract is undefined. See, it is okay. Let me not give you more examples to confuse you. So it's definitely not going to
Okay,
work.
got it.
So yeah.
Vinod, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yeah. Tell me.
Can you go in the terminal? Can you scroll up,
Mm-hmm.
please?
What do you want to see?
Okay, let me tell you. Before, when you had only require in this file 2, can you call file 2 in the terminal? Node file 2 in the terminal, please. Call it, no?
Yeah, you can. Ask me a question first.
So if you call it, it's telling super object function 1 add function 2 subtract, and it's telling like that, no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'll just run it for you again. So the direct way of doing it without all these confusions is just this much.
No. Can you just like before you did, no?
Before I did what?
No, require, just require, not, don't assign it to this variable. Can you do this?
This one?
Yeah, just this. Can you run file 2?
Yeah.
Why is it only printing Vinod from demo2.javascript?
What else do you expect it to be printed? Tell me.
I thought it would print super object, function 1 add, function 2
Why?
sub.
Because I have just initialized it. Have I ever called it? This one, super object, I have initialized. I have not called it. If I have
But
to
you
call it, I have to
exporting it.
do console. No, listen to me. If I do a console.log and print it here, then it is calling. If
Yeah,
I do this one,
I understand. Okay,
somewhere I
because
need to call it, right? Here, if I do this, then it will print. See? See? Instead of doing this, what I'm doing, I don't want to print it here. There's no point in printing. I export it, get it into a reference, and print it here.
okay, 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 Vinod, got it.
Yeah. Everyone clear with all the questions?
Yes, Vinod. Thank you.
All right. Hope the today's class was interesting. I want everyone to get this code, try it everything one by one. Okay. In today's workshop, let's discuss only this JavaScript issues. Okay. For the Selenium workshop, test cases 1, let's wait till Abhishek is back. If you have a few questions which takes just 1 or 2 minutes, then I can address it. If it is something taking too much time, then let's wait for Abhishek or Divya to pitch in. All right.
Okay, Vinod.
Okay.
I want everyone in today's class to watch the second video of Protractor. Okay. And Dikshit, please upload the third video as well, preparatory video for Protractor. I want everyone to watch all the 3 before coming to tomorrow's classroom. And also watch my video and work on this JavaScript. sorry, work on the JavaScript
Tomorrow
code
we
we have
you are
done
telling
today.
us we won't discuss test cases, huh?
Tomorrow morning workshop we'll discuss the JavaScript.
Only that, not test case. Okay.
Yeah. For the test cases, if it is very minor questions, I can still address it, no issues. If it is something like the last 3 workshops we have been discussing for a long time, right? If you are expecting something like that, then let's wait for Abhi to come in so that he'll cover Selenium and then we'll have it. I'm not telling that we won't be addressing it. I'm just telling you that let's complete Selenium and then address it. And also, meanwhile, we'll also be working on the solution to be shared with everyone. Okay, we are working on that.
You gave the Google form, huh? You said you'll give Google form, no?
Google form for which one?
No, you said to get.
Sorry, for Git is it?
No,
No, I didn't get you. What was the question? Google form for?
you said something Google form, no? You said